Good evening teachers, good evening everyone. In this video, I'm going to share with you my design template in Microsoft Excel which can simplify advisor's job in preparing our SF9, SF10 and summary of final grades. So this design template can be used for elementary and secondary. Okay, so this is actually the step-by-step guide on how to use this template. Okay, so first here in the input data in the actual workbook, you just paste here grades and students data from e-class record and school forms. Okay, from SF1. After you paste, automatically it will generate SF9 front and back page for every student. So, and then it will also automatically generate SF10 front page for grade 7 students. Okay, so this is actually a screen capture of the actual workbook that can simplify, or template that can simplify advisor's job. Okay, so this is the input data. So in Microsoft Excel, this is where you are going to paste data, and then it will automatically display all the data you input here to SF9 and SF10. Okay, so step 1, you enter data here. So in these red boxes, you just simply enter data and it will automatically reflect to SF9 and SF10 with the use of Excel formulas. Okay, so step number 2 here in this table, you can actually type here the number of school days and the number of days present here. So in this area, it will automatically display the days, the number of days absent, because this have a formula to subtract the number of school days and the number of absent. So you just simply input here, and all the data you input here will reflect all SF9 to 30 students automatic, and you can simply edit individual students because this, I have already removed the password for editing, so this is fully editable. Okay, so and then here for step 3, this red box, you input here by copy and pasting from e-class record or school forms. You enter here, will automatically reflect on SF9 and SF10. So you just simply copy from the school forms or e-class, and then you paste here, and then automatic it will go to SF9 and SF10. Okay, for step 4 in this box, you input here or paste here from e-class record for the grades for music, arts, PE, and health. So number 1 represents first quarter, 2 second, third, and fourth quarter for music, arts, physical education, and health. Okay, so and this will goes to the SF9 and SF10, and automatic it will compute the average. Okay, so next in this worksheet, you input here, there are only two these yellow worksheets. This is only the worksheet that you are going to input data, and all these will automatic. Okay, so in this worksheet, just input here, for example, for Filipino, this is quarter 1, quarter 2, 3, and 4, and these are the average grade. So you just copy and paste from the e-class record and paste, for example, the first quarter. So there are only this template can hold only 30 students for male and 30 students for female, meaning it has limitations. So this workbook or worksheet cannot automate if you have 31 students for male or female. So you just simply copy and paste this one. For instance, you started with a male, just simply copy and paste the workbook and then rename it for female. So separate workbook, okay, for male and female. So do the same in English. First quarter, you just simply paste from the A-class record to this worksheet. Do the same with the math, science, and all the subjects. And automatic, this will display all the final grades or the general average. Automatic, it will compute the general average. So for the MAPI, the first input data worksheet, this will actually display here. Then it automatic computes the average, and this average will goes automatic to the 30 students of SF9 and SF10. Okay, the names actually here were automatic once you paste from the input data, so you don't need to type. Okay, here step number 6, you can manually edit only last name and first name, name extension, and middle name. So the rest are automatically generated. Okay, so meaning you can after it automatically display once you paste on the input data, automatic the last name and first name will automatically display here. But you can simply edit manually because there is no password in this sheet. So here, automatic, this will display once you paste all the grades. Okay, so next, step 7, I have already unlocked this worksheet, so you can edit entries on the report on attendance here. So automatic, this will display on the SF9. So all the entries here, once you input, paste, or you type on the input data, automatic this will display on the report card. Automatic to all the 30 students. Okay, so you can replace the logo, the school logo, by following this step. So I click on the logo, click the change picture. So click from a file, then browse or locate your school logo. Then select the logo by clicking, then insert. So this one, you can replace all the logo. This time, let us proceed to the actual workbook. Okay, so this is the workbook. This yellow worksheet, these two are the worksheet that you are going to input data. Okay, so for example, on the input data, here, look at the SF9 front, SF9 back, SF10 front, and SF10 back. Okay, so for instance, on the SF9, there are values here, 0 for the name, and you have 30. Actually, these are 30 for 30 students, good for 30 students. Okay, so for example, on the input data here, so once you put here, okay, so observe on the summary of final grades, there are no names. Input data, no names. So once I paste here, automatic the names will display here. You don't need to type. Okay, for instance, the name of the principal, you type here, name of your principal. Okay, for privacy, I do not use names. And for example, your school ID here, for instance only T00. Okay, so for example, that one, automatic that will display all the data that you input here. Once this one, automatic will change also on the SF9 and automatic. So you can see once I click here, since this worksheet no password, so you can edit this formula. So meaning you input on the input data, automatic will display on the SF9. Okay, so for instance, maximize your time. So you just simply copy and paste the names. Example, if you have SF1 or from E-class record, okay, so I do not use names. For instance, I want to copy here, for example, 9 students only for male. I'm going to right click, then P, or for instance, I'm going to use the female, 24 female. Okay, so right click, highlight, then copy, then paste the names, or select number 1, right click here, and then values only. So this 1, 2, 3, this one, and check actually the sequence of numbers of the student. For example, number 15, name and first name is number 1. We can check actually the SF9, so last name and first name for 15. So the next, actually on page 2, let us check this one, page break view, so that you can see the second page. Scroll down, the second page, second SF9 is name 16 and name 16, and so on, 17, 18. So for instance, edit the input data. For example, on number 1, you're going to manually edit your names here. You just click here. For example, going to change the last name for number 1, and you can change all the students. For example, last name and first name. You enter, automatic on the SF9 will change 15. First SF9, see here, automatic that will change. So any change on the data will reflect on the F9 and SF. So okay, so for the student, you can go to, for example, on the SF1. So actually maximize your time creating this template. Right click, you can copy, it will automatic, you can paste, go back to your worksheet, template, age, make sure the sequence is the same. You right click here, paste, values only. So automatic, if one is 13, automatic that will display on the F9. So 13 here. So for example, to the data, for instance, we'll do at random number 8, last name and first name 22, 16 age. Check here, 22 down, age 16, 22. Here you can see great. Okay, so to the input data, do the same here. You just simply copy and paste LRN and actually maximize your time in creating SF9 and SF10, because you just simply paste the LRN and it will automatically goes to the 30 students on their corresponding LRN. Do the same with the date of birth. For instance, you go back to SF1. For instance, these are their birth, P to up to 30 only for sample. Right click, P, go back to your template here, click. So those are date of birth. So you start here from number 1, right click, paste, values only. So automatic sa November 11, 2008 is the number 1. So let us check the date of birth for number 1, 11/11/2008. Okay, so you can see on the SF10 automatic, the date of birth will appear, the 11/11/2000. Okay. Going back to the input data, so you do the same with the N. So for instance, you have LRN for tutorial purposes only, for privacy, actually remove the sample for N. So if you have LRN, simply copy and paste the LRN here. For example, the LRN of the students to 30, click, copy the LRN, copy and paste it on the plate. So here, right click here and paste values only. So you can see the LRN for here, for example for number 4, display on the last name, first name. So this LRN. So let us check on the 9, 15. Okay, so you can see the LRN will play. So for number 1 also, the LRN will display. So automatic, once you change or you manually edit the LRN here, automatic it will change on the 9. Okay, so for the grades here, array of final grades, just simply input or copy and paste the grades so that you can maximize your time. For example, for instance, you copy all the grade, copy and paste from the A-class record to this template, the first, second, third, and fourth quarter for the corresponding subject. Okay, so for instance, let us have this one. So copy and paste the grades here. For example, I have sample this one. Right click, copy, then go back to your template, click here on the template and then paste. So for example, that's TLE. So you paste on the first quarter. For instance, click here, right click, then paste values only, or this 1 2 3. Click this 1 2 3 to paste values only. So you have already the grades, for instance. So and for example, just simply paste the same grade for math for tutorial purpose only. So for example, in math, paste values only, same grades. Okay, so you just simply ask the soft copy of all the grades of the students so that you can maximize your time. You just copy and paste their grades on this template, and this will automatically goes to SF9 and SF10. Okay, so let us check on the SF9 if you have already grades for math and TLE. Okay, so for the first student, 98 98, 96 96. For the second, okay, check on the front. Let us check, I mean on the back page of the SF9. See, math on the first quarter has already grade and TLE. So same On the second student, in your second student is 196 and 96. On the third student, automatic, that will display 93, 93. And all the 30 students, all 30 automatic, that will display. And then you do the same with all the subjects. So after you paste all the grades, automatic, you are already done with your SF9, SF10, and summary of final grades. Okay, so that's all I have to you today. And if you like this content, please consider subscribing in appreciation. Thank you so much for watching. So you can leave a comment below if you have anything to ask. Thank you.